everyone. Thanks for tuning Blaque in once again to Authentic Black Goddess TV. I'm your host, QueenAShakur, and this is the second dose of your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right? Hello, Melanated Brown. I am Bass, Judah Queen, October Opal, Black Mama, Lee, Workout 218 AM, Silent D, Proud of Bentley, Eileen, Goddess Purple Mama's in the house. Okay, so let's get into it, Proud of Bentley, Christine. Okay, LaMarcus, I see you. Let's go ahead and get into it. Likes up. Everyone, please go ahead and give the video a like and a share. Thank you in advance. Now listen to this. The feds say an ex-sheriff stashed an arsenal of guns and ammunition and says that he won't be taken alive. Mind you, this man was a sheriff before, okay? Now, an ex-sheriff from Kentucky squirreled away an arsenal of guns and ammunition and has vowed to never be taken alive to face fraud and theft charges, according to federal prosecutors in Tennessee. So the ex-Greenup County Sheriff, Keith Cooper, age 68, has been indicted by a federal grand jury for allegedly stealing $50,000 in cash from the federal program between 2013 and early 2017. Now, I want y'all to pay attention. Though he's an ex-sheriff, he has a law enforcement background, and he's out here stealing and now stashing guns and ammo and talking about he won't be taken alive like a whole common criminal, which leads me to believe that when he was the sheriff, he was doing the same types of things and likely getting away with it because he was in charge. So pay attention. Now, he also allegedly misappropriated roughly 35,000 rounds of ammo intended for his deputies' firearms, and then misused vehicle and fuel funds for personal trips out of the Bluegrass state. So he was clearly doing the most. Now, following 2 decades as Greenup County Sheriff, Cooper retired from his post on December the 31st of 2018 and moved to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, according to his arrest warrant, after he stole all the money he could, no less. So Cooper has been aware of law enforcement scrutiny of his crimes for several years and has threatened numerous times that attempts to bring him to justice would result in armed conflicts. So he letting them know that he got the smoke and that he's going to give it to them. And he's not going out without a blaze of glory. That's what he said. He's not going out. They're not going to take him alive. So that means he's going out shooting. So anyway, Federal Prosecutor Taylor J. Phillips wrote in a detention request that was filed on Wednesday, January the 19th in Tennessee that cited the ex-sheriff's repeated threats of violence against investigators. Now, I want y'all to pay attention because this white man was a whole sheriff before. Now he's out here threatening violence upon the police, saying he won't be taken alive, letting them know that he got the smoke, and he stacked a whole arsenal of weapons and guns, or weapons and ammunition. So I'm sorry, but why aren't they in fear for their lives? That's what I'd like to know. How come they're not fear for their lives? This man's already talking about killing people and going out in a blaze of glory. Now, they say, furthermore, law enforcement officials believe that Cooper possesses the means to carry out these threats, having stashed away expensive ammunition and firearms during the course of his illegal schemes. Phillips says that investigators have also uncovered evidence that Cooper made personal use of a number of firearms seized by the Greenup County Sheriff's Office. So he's been stealing ammunition and weapons all this time. Now, the federal probe into Cooper's alleged corruption stemmed from a 2016 administrative audit by Kentucky state officials that detailed missing funds that were under the sheriff's control. So this all goes back to 2016, and they're just now deciding they're going to lock his behind up. So they say during these inquiries, Cooper repeatedly told his subordinates that he would resort to violence to avoid consequences for his actions. For example, Cooper told different deputy sheriffs that he possessed an arsenal and would not be taken alive, that he would kill. Pay attention now, because I'm just wondering why this man ain't dead. Why they haven't killed him in an arrest. This man told deputies that he would kill whomever came to arrest him. that he would start a shootout requiring multiple body bags, and that he would never go to jail. That's what he said. Now, y'all need to ask yourselves, how come the police never fear from their lives from white men who say this kind of stuff and then turn around and do it? They'll sit there and hostage negotiate with them or whatever, try to make deals and bargains with them for hours. They will not just shoot them dead like they do a black person on the side of the road whom they claim was resisting, even though they was unarmed and all of that. Pay attention. So anyway, Coffee or Dime magazine attempted to get Cooper's take on this, but a telephone number previously linked to his Murfreesboro residence was disconnected, and he didn't bother to respond to an email message. His federal public defender also didn't respond to messages. So he has a public defender. Now, I'm going to need them to make that make sense. Why does an ex-sheriff, and clearly he has a pension because he was a sheriff for at least 20 years plus, why does he need a public defender? And especially with all the money they say he stole, right? Over $50,000. I'm just curious. Anyway, and he probably stole more than that. That's just what he got caught for. Now, Cooper faces up to 20 years behind bars for mail fraud and 10 years of imprisonment for the theft of public funds charge, plus a maximum fine of $250,000 for each count. Now, according to the Greenup County Sheriff's Office, Cooper began his law enforcement career in Memphis Police Department in 1974. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see a picture of this whole thug. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. That's him right there. Ex-Greenup County Sheriff Keith Cooper. He's 68 years old now. And that's him. I don't know if all of those are his vehicles, but it sure looks like it. So like I said, I'm just wondering, talk about in God we trust. Please, okay? I'm just wondering. He spent all the money. Maybe he gambled it all away. He didn't spend that money. You think that's what he did? Honey, what he didn't do is spend all that money, okay? I guarantee you he didn't. He has a public defender because he doesn't want to pay for legal counsel and spend up hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's what that is. That's all that is. And that's clearly crazy as far as I'm concerned. That's real crazy. Anyway, let's talk about these celebrities with these PPP loans that I find very interesting. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go. So they say several celebrities among 19 indicted on PPP fraud charges totaling $3 million. And guess where this happened? In Georgia. All right. In Georgia, a federal program to rescue small businesses during the pandemic became a target for scammers, they say. Now, at the height of the stupid 19 crisis, the federal government created the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP, to help small businesses stay financially afloat. But the program that authorized up to $659 billion towards job retention and other expenses soon became a target for shady businesses. By March of 2021, federal prosecutors charged at least 120 individuals with PPP fraud. Celebs are among those who have been convicted, including Love and Hip Hop Miami star Diamond Baby Blue Smith, who was sentenced in December to 20 months in prison for a PPP scam. Y'all remember Diamond, because I believe Diamond was the one who went out and leased a very expensive car. I forget what kind of car it was, but spent $40,000 on child support and then bought a Rolex with diamonds encrusted and all this crazy stuff. Now, one defendant, Mark C. Mason Jr., who's a former running back for the University of Maryland, was charged independently, but also named in 6 other lawsuits as an unindicted co-conspirator, according to the newspaper, citing court documents. Now, according to the AJC, several celebrities are among those indicted in the scheme, including actress Ion Overman, who appeared in Desperate Housewives, music producer Carlos Close Stevens, who has worked with Master P, and actor Dale Godbaldo, who appeared in The People vs. O.J. Simpson. Now, the prosecutors alleged that the defendants collaborated with Mason to submit fake versions of past IRS Form 941, the employer's quarterly federal tax return that reported false payroll numbers to an approved PPP lender. According to the indictments, the submitted documents were actually never filed with the IRS, so it was fraudulent. Now, Mason, who allegedly submitted the fake PPP loan applications for 2 of his own businesses, was accused of receiving a success fee of between 2 to 5% for loans awarded from the applications he helped other defendants to submit. So not only was he getting fraudulently obtained loans for himself, he was helping other people to get them, and then he was getting the cuts for helping them to get the loans. Tania says, not Diamond Blue from Pretty Ricky. I mean, I guess, is that where he's from? Mm-hmm. So anyway, this is the nefarious things that people have been doing. When it's people out here who really needed those loans to keep their businesses afloat. And they probably couldn't even get it because all the people out here lying and scheming and trying to do the absolute most. Anyway. Now, like I told you all before, the Black woman who was in a botched raid that involved the Chicago Police Department, where she was in her own residence, they had the wrong address, burst into her house while she was naked, had just gotten out of the shower after a hard day's work, and they stood there for about 20 minutes interrogating her and asking her all these foolish questions when she kept telling them they were at the wrong residence. And all they had to do was go outside and check the warrants. But they didn't bother to do that until the last minute, after they stood there around the woman while she was nude the whole time and gave her like a comforter to cover herself up with that kept falling off because they had her handcuffed, so she couldn't use her hands to hold it on herself. Now, a Black woman involved in a botched Chicago police raid got a $2.9 million settlement. She said she would rather have seen the cops get fired. So she received the settlement for the raid, said she would have been happier if the cops involved were fired and that she didn't receive a dime. She said, there's no amount of money that will right this wrong. And Jeanette Young told CBS Mornings in an interview that aired on Friday that the money is not justice. She said, I would have been more satisfied if all 12 officers had gotten fired and I didn't receive a dime. This is what she said to her attorney. She said she originally wanted the officers fired. Now, body cam footage of the February 2019 incident showed a dozen cops, Chicago cops, storming into Young's home while she was changing after a work event. She says, you got the wrong house. She kept screaming as the officers handcuffed her while she was there naked. The cops later draped a blanket over her, like I told you, or whatever. That didn't do much good. So anyway, last week, Chicago's Office Inspector General released a report detailing the aftermath of the raid and the city's response. Now, the review outlined how individuals across the Chicago Police Department, the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, and the mayor's office failed to address the wrongdoings. And that would include Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Okay? Because she really didn't have much to say about this, if you all recall. So she says, I lost a lot of my life that night. This is what she told CBS Mornings. I actually thought that if I had done anything different than what I was doing, that I would have died that night. Well, that's probably true. You know how they shoot Black people first and ask questions later, and then just lie and say they fear for their lives. Vincent M says, can she sue all the race soldiers involved and take their pensions? That's what she should have done. Of course she could have done that. That's what she should have done. But I would say this much. She said she needs to file sexual harassment assault charges on the Chicago Police Department and the whole entire city. They finally fired 3 cops who shot into the crowd and murdered an 8-year-old. Judah Queen said F Beetlejuice. Let me say this. Now, when she said that she would have preferred for the cops to get fired and not get a dime, now I don't know about all of that. I don't know about all that. She said the money wasn't justice. Well, to me, the money was justice. I mean, you can't go back and change what they did, but the money was more of justice than she could get because luckily she didn't get killed or injured. Second of all, she is traumatized and no amount of money will be sufficient, says Mary. Well, I say this, Mary. I'm sure that money can change her life in certain ways. She still has her life. And at the end of the day, fire the cops and then what? She said she would have preferred the cops to get fired. What's that going to do? You don't think they can go get hired somewhere else down the street? Like the nefarious cop thug who killed Tamir Rice? He also got fired. He went right down the street and got hired at another police department. So firing the cops, that means nothing to me. They get fired all the time. And what do? They just go somewhere else and get hired. So how's that justice? I'm just saying. Now, had she said she preferred the cops went to jail or prison, that might have been more sufficient. But she didn't say that. She said she would have preferred they got fired and she didn't get a dime. Honey, I'd rather have the $2.9 million and let them go on about their business. Because whether they got fired or not, like I said, they would get hired somewhere else. That's just how it always goes. They don't even get fired when they murder Black people. Did the cops that killed Breonna Taylor get fired? The one did, but not for killing Breonna. It was because he shot into the surrounding apartment 3 rounds for wanton endangerment. But did they get fired for killing Breonna Taylor? No, they didn't. So Kia said, well, at least she didn't forgive him. That's true. Garrett said she's traumatized. She can't work. She has PTSD and sees a therapist once every week. Garrett, how do you know all of that? Vince I Am said exactly, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Okay. So anyway, question. Would you rather be scarred for life and unable, struggling financially, or would you rather be scarred and financially comfortable? Exactly. Exactly. That's all I'm saying. You can't undo what they've already done. You still have your life. See, here's the thing to me. It's different when they murder a Black person. Because once you take somebody's life or you disable them like they did Jacob Blake, where they shot him in his back 7 times while he was, unarmed. And then he's now paralyzed and had to have part of his intestines removed and all of that. Now, money is not going to ever compensate you for something like that. That's clearly nefarious. They have, at that point, ruined your life, even if you live. Now you are paralyzed. You can't take care of yourself. You always have to have someone helping you to even go to the bathroom, take a bath or whatever. That's ruined your life. No amount of money can compensate you for that any way, shape, form, or fashion. If they kill someone in your family that you love, money is not going to compensate you for that either. But at the end, that's when you want them to go to prison to get dire consequences for what they have done. But at the end of the day, where they came in a botched raid and she wasn't injured, only she was traumatized, that's enough. But the fact that she still has her life and she's still in good health, the money is the best form of compensation that she's going to get. Because I assure you, if they had gotten fired and she didn't get a dime, how was that going to change her life or make things better? It wouldn't have. Because like I said, they just got hired somewhere else. That's just how it goes. That's just my opinion. Tanaya said that 2.9 million is a start. Absolutely. Absolutely. She needs to get her a financial advisor and have them tell her how to invest that money so she can grow her money, honey. That's what I'd be doing if I was her. Okay? LeMarcus said she should use some of the money for therapy. Yes, if she needs it. American Indian says they can stare at my sausage and dream. Effing orcs. Thank you for that, American Indian. Vince I Am says, where's now you all are starting to get nefarious. See, I'm about to end this live real quick. Hold on. Vince I Am says, where's hashtag Me Too or the radical feminists? As a Black woman had a civil rights and dignity taken away from her. Exactly, beloved. Exactly. Good question. Where is hashtag Me Too? Nowhere to be found, as usual, when something happens to a Black woman, but they love to come out here and try to recruit Black women and then have foolish Black women out here with their nigger selves talk about, I'm a strong Black woman, I don't need no man. Please dismiss me with all of it. Okay? Hold on. Let me see what somebody said they would invest in. Ladybug said, I would invest and go to Jamaica to live. Okay, sounds good. All right, so anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning Blaque in. Now, the next live starts in 3 minutes on the original QueenAShakur channel. And we're going to talk about this teacher who taped a mask to a student's neck, or to their face, I mean, and then another teacher caught making a child eat out of the trash. Honey, when I tell you, thank God nobody ever tried it with my son, honey. Thank God nobody ever tried it. And also, Cal Rittenhouse wants the AR-15 back that he used in the shootings. He claims he wants to destroy it. So we're going to talk about that. The next live starts in 3 minutes exactly. So please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time I go live. And I hope to see you all in the next text. Peace.